They didn't fight. They didn't kiss. They didn't even look at each other. I am just a maid, but I know everything happening in their lives. And in that silence, betrayal found its way in. James found comfort in the arms of a beautiful stranger named Jade. Anna found warmth in the embrace of a wealthy German man named Klaus. And while they smiled for the cameras and ruled their empires, their marriage was crumbling, quietly, secretly, dangerously. And I watched it all unfold, until I couldn't watch anymore. Because sometimes, the person holding the mop knows the truth better than the ones holding the power. And this is the story of how I, a maid, fought to bring two broken souls back from the edge, and saved a love they were both ready to bury. Before I continue, let me pause for a while and appreciate you all that have been so dedicated to this channel. You all have been so amazing, and I am really grateful. Your countless support will never go unnoticed. Your comments, likes are very important to this channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to this family, and subscribe for more beautiful stories. Now let me take you to the deepest part of this emotional, heartbreaking, betrayal, redemption, and lovely story. My name is Brenda. I've worked for the Conways for nearly 6 years, cleaning, cooking, arranging their lives while watching their slowly unravel. From the outside, you'd think Anna and James Conway had it all. A mansion in Florida with glass walls, a fleet of luxury cars, wardrobes that could fill a mall. But what they didn't have, what they'd both lost, was each other. Anna, a business tycoon with offices in London, Dubai, and Tokyo, was always flying across time zones. Her voice echoed through the house only on rare weekends when she wasn't boarding a private jet. James, on the other hand, ran a multi-million-dollar construction empire. He was either on site at skyscrapers or in back-to-back boardroom meetings. At home, they were like statues, present but lifeless. They didn't fight. They didn't laugh. They didn't even talk. Breakfasts were silent affairs. Dinners were skipped. And the bedroom door stayed shut more than it should in a marriage. I used to set the table for 2, then I stopped. There was no point. No one was showing up. It was in that silence that Jade showed up. A striking woman in high heels and sharper business instincts. She came one afternoon to discuss a concrete supply deal for her company. I remember her perfume lingering in the hallway long after she left. It smelled like trouble. Within a week, James was taking business meetings at odd hours. He'd come home freshly shaved, happier, and sometimes humming. Jade, I soon found out, wasn't just about contracts. She was about companionship. He took her to 5-star hotels in Miami, surprised her with luxury watches, and even bought her a limited edition handbag that Anna had once eyed but never received. I was shocked, but not entirely surprised. James had been emotionally hungry for a long time. Jade just knew how to serve the right dish. But Anna wasn't innocent either. During one of her trips to Germany, she met Klaus, a tall, charming investment mogul. Their joint venture quickly turned personal. I saw it in her changed expressions when she returned. The way she smiled at her phone. The way she hummed when unpacking her bags. She started traveling even more, only now I suspected it wasn't all boardroom meetings and business lunches. In their own home, they became strangers. Ghosts walking past each other. The silence thickened like fog. I couldn't stand it. I had watched them fall in love years ago. I was there when James surprised her with roses on their 3rd anniversary. I remembered Anna staying up late baking his favorite cookies during a stressful week. They weren't always like this. But now? They were slipping away, not just from each other, but from themselves. I tried to ignore it at first. I told myself it wasn't my place. I was just the maid. But how could I keep wiping down tables set for no one? How could I pretend not to see the lipstick on James' collar or the silk scarf in Anna's suitcase that didn't belong to her? The final straw was the night I heard them both laughing on their phones in separate rooms, James in the lounge, Anna in her office, both talking to someone who wasn't each other. The house had never felt colder. I knew I had to do something. It was risky, maybe foolish, but I loved that family too much to watch them destroy themselves quietly. So, I made a decision. I walked up to the dining room table the next morning and set it for 3. I placed the best plates, lit the candles, and cooked their favorite meal, grilled salmon with lemon butter, roasted vegetables, and Anna's favorite red wine. Then I sent both of them a message from the house intercom. Dinner at 8. No excuses. Brenda. They were both surprised, probably annoyed. But they came. They had no idea what I was about to say. They both came down at 8:07 p.m. James wore a plain navy shirt with tired eyes. Anna, still in her silk blouse from a long day, looked confused as she entered the dining room. The candles flickered between them like they were guarding secrets. The silence between the couple was the loudest thing in the room. I stood near the table, wiping my hands on a towel, my heart pounding. Brenda, what's this? Anna asked, her tone sharp but not unkind. I called a meeting, I said, trying not to shake. For the two of you. James raised a brow. A meeting? Yes. A real one. Not for business. For your marriage. They looked at each other, then back at me. No one sat down. No one touched the food. I stepped closer. I know it's not my place, but I've been with this family for years. I've seen everything. Your love, your success, your struggles. But now all I see is betrayal. From both sides. Anna flinched. James folded his arms. Betrayal? Anna echoed. Brenda, this is out of line. No, it's not. I interrupted gently. James, you're seeing Jade. You take her to luxury hotels and spend more time with her than with your own wife. He went pale. And Anna, you're not innocent either. Klaus from Germany. You call him daily. You smile more for him than you have for James in the past year. Anna turned red, her lips parting in shock. James slowly sat down, eyes wide with guilt. I know I'm just a maid, I continued, but this house is my home too. I've watched it fall apart day by day. And I couldn't stay silent anymore. You both built empires. But you forgot to build each other. You forgot to talk, to eat together, to touch, to look. You forgot why you chose each other in the first place. Anna sat now, her shoulders sinking. How long have you known? Long enough to cry in my room at night, I said. Because the love that once made this house a home is rotting from the inside. There was silence. James stared at the glass of wine before him. Anna closed her eyes. Then James whispered, I didn't mean for it to happen. It was just nice to be seen. Jade listened. She made me feel wanted again. Anna looked up, her eyes watery. And Klaus? He made me laugh. I was tired of feeling alone, even in my own house. I walked over and placed my hands on the back of both their chairs. Do you realize what you're saying? You both wanted the same thing from each other, but went looking somewhere else. You were lonely together. Tears slipped down Anna's cheeks. James covered his face with his hands. I didn't want to hurt her, James said. I was just tired of being invisible. I know, Anna replied softly. And I made you feel that way. James looked up. And I let you down too. We stopped trying. I stepped back. My work here was done. The rest was in their hands. Anna reached across the table, touching James' hand. Do you think we can fix this? He nodded slowly. I want to. I really do. They finally looked at each other, really looked. Not through screens. Not across suitcases or meeting rooms. But eye to eye, heart to heart. Thank you, Brenda, Anna said quietly. We needed this. I smiled. It's not too late. But you both have to choose each other again. Every day. That night, they stayed at the table long after the food got cold. They laughed a little. They cried a little more. And for the first time in months, they held hands. And I, Brenda, the maid, walked to my small room with the biggest smile I'd had in years. From that night on, something in the house shifted. The next morning, James stayed home longer than usual. Normally, he'd rush out by 6:30 a.m., coffee in hand and phone already buzzing. But that day, he lingered. He and Anna sat together in the sunroom, sipping coffee quietly, like two people remembering how to be close. They didn't say much, but that didn't matter. The silence wasn't tense anymore. It was peaceful, healing. For the first time in a long time, I set the table for two again. And this time they came. Not just once, but every morning after. Sometimes, James would leave a note by his plate for Anna. Sometimes, she'd write something back. They weren't grand speeches, just simple lines like, "I miss this," or "Let's do dinner tonight." But they meant everything. James ended things with Jade. I overheard the call one afternoon. He was calm, firm, and respectful. No lies, no games. Just a man owning up to his mistakes and choosing his wife over convenience. Jade didn't cry. She just said, "I hope you make it work," and hung up. Anna did the same with Klaus. She emailed him from her home office. I didn't ask what she wrote, but I saw her delete his contact afterward. That said enough. Their phones no longer buzzed during meals. They started coming home earlier, together. James rescheduled some projects. Anna delegated more. They started guarding their time the same way they guarded their companies. One Friday evening, I saw them dancing on the patio. No music, just the soft breeze and their laughter filling the space between them. It reminded me of their early days, the ones I used to watch quietly from the kitchen window, smiling behind my dish towel. That weekend, they took a trip, not to close a deal or attend a summit, but just to be alone. They went to Key West, no laptops, no assistants. Just Anna and James. Husband and wife. When they returned, they brought back souvenirs, photos, and even a sand dollar they found together. Anna placed it on the mantel. A reminder, she told me, that we still have something beautiful. We just forgot how to see it. They even invited me to have dinner with them one night. I almost cried right there in the dining room. Not because of the food, though it was delicious, but because I finally saw them as them again. And more than once, James turned to me and said, "Brenda, I don't know what we would have done without you." But truthfully, I didn't do anything magical. I just reminded them of what they already had, and what they were about to lose. Anna started calling home during trips now, even for a minute, just to say, "I love you." And James? He started picking her up from the airport, flowers in hand. Sometimes I wondered if their second beginning was even stronger than their first. I still cleaned, still folded laundry, still swept the marble floors. But everything felt different. The mansion had warmth again. Laughter echoed in the halls. They had dinner with friends, spent time in the garden, even hosted a small anniversary gathering, just for the three of us. On that day, Anna raised her glass to me and said, "Brenda, you are not just our maid. You are our guardian angel." I smiled and shook my head. "No, ma'am. I'm just someone who loves this home, and everyone in it." Because in truth, love isn't just about flowers or romantic dates. It's about presence, about fighting for each other when silence tries to steal everything. And sometimes it takes someone from the outside to help two people find their way back in. So here we are, not perfect, but real, reconnected, renewed. And every time I walk past the dining room now and see them smiling, holding hands, or simply talking, I remember that love, once lost, can be found again. Even in the quietest of homes. Even in Florida. Even with just one candle and a little courage. If you find this story interesting and relatable, subscribe and hit on notifications. Your comments and likes go a long way too. Thank you for watching.